Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I'm honored to speak for the first time in this House as the Member of Parliament for Halifax. And as I rise today, I find that I am full. I'm full of humility in the face of this profound honor. I'm full of enthusiasm with the prospect of what this House will do on behalf of all Canadians. And I'm full of gratitude for all of those who helped me and indeed all of us get elected to this place. Please indulge me, Mr. Speaker, as I thank my loving wife and daughter and indeed all of my family, and also my extended campaign family for working so tirelessly and with such purpose. Thank you also to the people of Halifax who have entrusted me with the privilege of representing them in this government. Thank you all for your trust and support, and I pledge to you that I will toil ceaselessly on your behalf. Mr. Speaker, there is one other pledge I would like to make. Earlier this week, our colleague, the Minister of Democratic Institutions, astutely likened heckling in this House to common schoolyard bullying. She called upon each of us to show proper respect in this place and to the Canadians who sent us here by pledging not to heckle when our colleagues are speaking, and I so pledge. Further, Mr. Speaker, I repeat the Minister's invitation to all colleagues to also take this pledge. Now I speak in reply to the speech from the throne. Mr. Speaker, I am proud to serve in a government that is committed to growing our economy through investment in public transit. I'm proud to serve a government committed to investing in green infrastructure, green tech, clean tech, to create the jobs of tomorrow. Proud to serve in a government committed to investing in social infrastructure like housing, transitional shelters, and early childhood development facilities. I'm proud to support a government that will offer more support for seniors. I'm proud to serve in a government committed to reducing greenhouse gas emissions, committed to making life better for Canadians by implementing a middle-class tax cut, by offering a hand up to Canadians working hard to improve their situation by implementing the new Canada Child Benefit. And I am so very proud to serve in a new government seeking to forge a new nation-to-nation partnership with Indigenous peoples in urban and rural communities across this country. Mr. Speaker, I believe these investments in these programs will be transformational for our nation's cities and for the millions of Canadians that reside within them. And I believe that these investments will also benefit our nation as a whole. You see, Mr. Speaker, with the proportion of Canadians living in urbanized areas at more than 80% and growing, we stand on the threshold of the urban century. And so when our cities succeed, our nation succeeds. And that is why this House will grow accustomed to hearing me speak about and advocate for Halifax and other cities across this country. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to share a story about what can happen when we begin to harness the power of cities. It was only a few short years ago that downtown Halifax emerged from a decades-long period of stagnation. An entire generation grew up with never seeing a construction crane on the horizon of our city. What growth we did have was happening on the edge of the city, eating up forests and farmland, sprawling ever outward while our urban core atrophied. And the cost of this low-density, dispersed growth was and remains tragically high. Financially high with the capital and maintenance costs of vast new systems of infrastructure, environmentally high with ecological degradation and greenhouse gas emissions, and socially high with increased commuting times and poor health outcomes, to name a few, and all of this completely unsustainable. In 2006, I became the City of Halifax's first manager of urban design. And from that perch, I set out to put my city back on track towards sustainability. I had the pleasure of working with Halifax volunteer extraordinaire Dale Godsoe, fresh off her service on Prime Minister Paul Martin's External Advisory Committee on Cities and Communities. Together with a wonderful team of staff and volunteers and an engaged council, we set in motion a broad 3-year program of community engagement to build a new plan for our city. And Mr. Speaker, our new plan hit a gusher. In a recent conversation with Halifax Mayor Mike Savage, a former member of this House and now a member of the FCM Big City Mayors Caucus, and the meeting with our own Minister of Infrastructure and Communities, the Mayor revealed to us that downtown Halifax's share of regional growth had ballooned from a mere 16% before our new plan took hold to a share of greater than 40% since the plan did take hold. A stunning public policy victory. As a result of this plan, cranes now dot the skyline, and development activity in the downtown core has increased by 40 times. We are seeing new office, retail, and mixed-use space, and we're on our way towards seeing 5,000 new residential units in the urban core, which otherwise would have been built out in those farms and forests. And Mr. Speaker, because land use and transportation are always two sides of the same coin, the intensification of our downtown has implications for public transit and active transportation as well. Our transit authority, Metro Transit, is in the process of redesigning its service, possibly to include commuter rail for the first time, and more bike lanes are turning up, due in large part to the advocacy of groups like the Halifax Cycling Coalition. But the jewel in the crown of our downtown renaissance is surely the new Halifax Central Library, a project which I am proud to have helped lead among a cast of other civic leaders. Our library recently celebrated its one-year anniversary, and in the hands of its amazing CEO, Osa Cashin, the library has had nearly 2 million visitors since it opened its door. Not bad in a province of only 1 million people. And it has exceeded every single expectation that we had set for it. It has become the city's living room. It's become a nucleus of community in our downtown, a place where people come to learn languages, to meet friends, to do business, and even to start businesses. There is a place for every member of our community at the Central Library. It's put our city on the world stage of architecture and culture, winning numerous national and international distinctions, and has become a point of deep pride for Halifax. So, Mr. Speaker, although my city still has a tremendous amount of work to do, like many Canadian cities, I will recap some of the things that we have gotten right. We have authentically engaged with community members so that they themselves could craft the plan for their downtown, thereby including them in the decisions that impact their lives. We created progressive public policy that eliminates red tape and allows the private sector to do its work. We are matching these land use improvements with complementary and necessary improvements to transit and active transportation. And in the case of the Central Library, we made a significant public investment in our community that has given the private sector confidence to initiate multiple mixed-use projects nearby. Mr. Speaker, this is a story about the importance of smart public policy and public investment in community infrastructure, such as that referred to in the speech from the throne, and of how it has helped position Halifax for success. Success with the tremendous opportunity and responsibility of a national shipbuilding contract, with the Irving Shipyard already becoming a key economic driver in our city. Success with the greatest concentration of ocean-related PhDs of anywhere in the world in capitalizing on our potential of the oceans nearby for research, for nutrition, for energy, logistics, and even in the case of the Marine Research Station in Ketch Harbor in my riding, for cutting-edge algae biofuel. Success in helping to support our local arts and culture scene with groups like Shakespeare by the Sea, the Khyber Centre for the Arts, Neptune Theatre, the Art Gallery of Nova Scotia, and festivals like Nocturne Art at Night and North by Night were just a few examples of the vibrant culture found in our city. Success with a rich diversity of food and food security initiatives in Halifax, like Hope Blooms, a modest community garden program, empowering at-risk youth in the urban core, or like our urban farms, Common Roots Urban Farm in Spryfield Urban Farm and the John Umlau Community Garden. Success in attracting and supporting diversity in our city. Just last month, I visited the Mi'kmaq Native Friendship Center in downtown Halifax to discuss with its director, Pamela Glodes-Durocher, how I can help advance their objective of improving the lives of Aboriginal people in an urban environment through social and cultural programming. And I also have visited with Imam Dr. Tayebi in the Muslim community at the Ummah Mosque and Community Center in Halifax, a group I am proud to call my friends and who have made themselves a pillar of generosity in our community. Simply put, Mr. Speaker, a smart urban agenda, a national urban agenda with strategic investment leads to economic prosperity, environmental sustainability, and cultural vibrancy. This is why I am encouraged by the government's urban agenda, as articulated in its speech from the throne. These investments in our cities will be transformational, but we mustn't stop there. I implore my honourable colleagues to consider the power of Canadian cities and to work together with me and with the Parliamentary Secretary for Intergovernmental Affairs and other colleagues, and with urban groups across the country, such as the Council for Canadian Urbanism, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, and the FCM Big Mayors Caucus, to continue to advance a national urban agenda. On the threshold of the urban century, Mr. Speaker, I believe we have no other responsible choice. Thank you.
Questions and comments?